Hey world, welcome to The Chosen Few. This is one of our streams that we have on this channel, twitch.tv/vanishxzone, set in the Sagas of the Shimmering Sea region of the world. I am Matthew, I'm running the game, and you can check us out here on Sundays at this time, and Mondays and Thursdays as well, all playing in the same world. On Fridays we have a different show where we do a different thing, but we're reconceiving and rethinking about that show right now, so I'll keep you updated as we do. Also, I wanted to mention specifically, and I'm probably going to mention this twice throughout the show, but I have been asked to run a game for a different channel, Polished Cryptids channel, and that'll be happening next Saturday, and for the next 4 weeks after that as well. I'm going to be running an Apocalypse World game over on Polished Cryptid. The timing on that is going to be 6 p.m. on for Pacific Standard Time for us on Saturdays. That's like 11 a.m. Brisbane time, which is their local time on Sundays. So it's a Saturday Sunday game, depending on how you look at it. But nonetheless, you can go check that out on that channel over there. It'll be pretty fun and pretty cool, and I'm very excited to be asked to do it. So I'm gonna promote it if I can. Okay, back to it. So where are we? What are we doing? What's going on? Who are we meeting? What's life like at this point? We've
I
established
have a vague recollection of some gorillas.
Hmm.
Does that sound familiar to people? Like, is that where we ended last time? Was with the gorilla? And I don't. It wasn't clear if they were advocating for a particular political angle or trying to influence the election, or I don't know. We didn't get a chance to ask them.
Yes, were the gorillas involved in the election or not? That's an excellent question.
And we were on the way to try and find what's his butt, right?
We found him.
Oh,
yes.
Right.
Yes,
and
he showed up out of the woods.
And he has an intellect devourer in his brain named Kalas.
Right.
Who told us all that not all intellect devourers believe or want the same thing. Not all of them want genocide on the Illithids or to stop the covering again. They have different factions, just like anyone has different factions. And that they exist and live in pods, that they are not a complete collective.
And it really seems like my impression was we were getting down to the wire in terms of, as a group, if we were going to try to influence the day's events, it was like kind of now or never was kind of my...
Yeah, you definitely are at like the couple hour point. If you guys want to endorse someone, or if multiple of you guys want to endorse different people in terms of this election, this is definitely where I think we have to start the episode to figure out what's going on. So let's just do a quick refresher on who the candidates that have petitioned you are, and if there's any other candidates that haven't petitioned you, and what that means as well. So let's just do a quick little primer on that while I pull up my notes. There we go. So, to be eligible, typically you have to be a member of the council, and one of the people who has petitioned you, or has sort of petitioned you, or has asked for your advice in this issue, is someone who was taken over by council politics at a very young age, because they were meant to become a sacrifice, which you guys interrupted his service in this way, and so is sort of questioning what he's supposed to do with himself. His name is Kyra, and he was a conduit during a ceremony, and so he is one of our potential people who we could have run the thing, as it were, if you want to support him. We've also had Nuja. Nuja has been sort of your most vocal and aggressive ally. You do believe that she is controlled by a brain slug. Brain slug? Is that the joke? I don't remember what the joke is anymore. Brain slug. And she is sort of
brain shrimp.
Brain shrimp. That's it. Thank you. Much better. See, I knew it was funnier than brain slug. And she, so she's been sort of your most vocal supporters, and is offering you political power to a certain extent in exchange for your support, as well as like sort of telling you that her goal would be to go to the stars and get more involved in things out there. That was certainly one of her primary things that has happened. Then there is Aida, who I think is the most like devout believer in the divinity of you guys, which is sort of a weird relationship that you have with her. She also just like when she showed up, she let you cut open her arm so that you could test her blood, so you know definitively that she is not a brain shrimp, and that's going on. Let's see. So that's I have Aida, I have Nuja. That is also Kyra is the Zenit one. I should not forget Arwa. Arwa is the person who was voted out. In essence, there was a vote of no confidence, but that doesn't mean she's given up on her seat. She still is standing for election as well in this position here. And I feel like I'm missing one. Am I missing one? Did I forget someone?
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Hi.
Kosher?
Oh, yes, that makes sense.
Was he? He hasn't.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't. Sorry, no, he has not thrown his hat in the ring.
Yeah, because he's also not here.
Right,
anymore.
he's going off to be an emissary to the people. He's still voting, but
That's it. That's
yeah.
it.
But tomorrow is his plan. Tomorrow is to go to the Grand Accord and that whole thing.
There was no one that you mentioned explicitly other than those
Great.
four.
That's perfect. That sounds good. Four-way race is good. I'll take it. Excellent. If I forgot the one, I forgot the one. But I'm totally fine with that. Excellent. So that's sort of the situation we find ourselves in now. You also have grabbed and or are interrogating and asking questions about this Umar, who has a brain shrimp inside of him. And they've been relatively forthcoming.
And what didn't Caliban also invoke some kind of spell for like a divine intuition about what what kind of outcomes to expect based on the Caliban, can you refresh your memory about that?
Yeah, so I cast divination. If our primary goal is to have a society where the Kavanians and the brain shrimp coexist, then Nuja should be the person we vote for. If that's our primary goal, it doesn't mean that it won't happen with anyone else. That's most likely to happen with her. If we want to protect our planet first and foremost from those outside, those who might incur on it, and probably the protection of the Kava as a whole, Aida would be the best choice. That would be the choice that, as Matt mentioned, would also keep us in sort of the highest standing among the Kava, possibly in terms of our divinity status, not necessarily political status. And then those were the answers that I got. I didn't get anything about Kyra or Arwa.
Yeah. So that's sort of our political entanglement there. I will start. I like to sometimes remind or clarify that this is at this point, whenever I do this with people for the first time, I like to clarify that this is a role-playing game and not a computer game. There definitively is not a right answer, right? And I think that sometimes that's easy to forget. People are like, this feels like a puzzle. I feel like there's a right way to solve this. Nope. There are pluses and minuses for all these people. I have pros and cons lists for all of these people. Some you're aware of and some you're not aware of. And it's certainly true that like being more or less aware of pros and cons could make a substantive difference to how you would vote. But it is not, there's no way to 100% this, as it were.
So you're saying we can't quick save and try all four?
Well, there's this spell called Wish. And if you gain access to it somehow, then you can go screw yourself. But
Right,
no,
good
not
plan.
realistically.
Good plan.
Can I just call my Kavanian assistant over? Could we have a scroll for Wish, if that's at all possible? No, we're out in the wilderness. There's no way.
Okay, I was
But-
gonna roleplay that for a second. And
No. That didn't actually happen.
They disappear.
oh, wish.
So, Caliban, since I feel like you had very strong feelings about what was what you wanted to see happen before casting divination and before that sort of set of insights. I don't suppose that's changed your mind at all.
The only thing that's really changed my mind, actually, a little bit, is this conversation that we just had with this fellow here. I gestured to what's his face, Umar. The fact that they're not a complete collective, that they're not all working together necessarily, changes how I might think about them as a species. It doesn't change the fact that my personal goal here would be the protection of our planet. And selfishly, are standing as gods among these people. But that's just me, you know. I don't expect you all to agree with me about any of that. You're all completely different people.
I think that if we are going to be promoting people, I do think that the best course would be to promote people equally, with the idea that no matter who wins, then someone has backed them and now is owed favors.
But who's the one most likely to give us favors? Is Nuja.
Pardon me, I'm Umar.
Hey.
I feel like I shouldn't be part of this conversation. So I'm gonna go. If that's all, do you have further need of me? Otherwise, I'm just gonna go back to the old guy.
You're
We're
great.
good.
You're great, Umar. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, go. You should go.
Can we
Yeah.
walk back as well? Just as can we walk and talk?
Yeah.
Talk and
Oh,
walk?
yeah. You're walking and talking. Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. So he breaks off and goes in a different direction. I think he's very dramatic, and so he like Naruto runs, you know, back into the woods.
Cool. Oh, wait, before you go, sorry.
Turns and veers back like a
Sorry. I notch a particular symbol on a silver piece and toss it to him for your trouble. Just for you to keep,
turns and runs back. Doesn't reply.
so we can find him again if we need to.
Yeah.
Timothy, as the heart and conscience of our little, group of friends here, what's in your heart right now? What do you think?
Well, I'm no god. No, that's all I have so far. I think I would want to prioritize the well-being of this new species. In my opinion, I think if we can find a way for them to live and coexist, I think that would be great. I'm not one for politics, so I don't really care as long as it isn't like a corrupt evil leader who's going to kill everyone. That would be my ideal. So I don't really care. I think I'm going to sit this one out, but I am going to tell literally everyone what we know. That would be my plan. Just get it all out in the open, and then everyone knows everything, and they can duke it out or sort it out.
Actually, that's an interesting course of action. what if we tell everyone what we know and then all back Nusha? That
You
way,
mean it, including saying that she is.
100%. It's an interesting idea, right?
As long as we're telling everyone, I mean, I think I'm fine with that. Again, I don't really care who is in charge of a government in a place I don't belong. But yeah, tell
Because
everyone.
by going forward and saying, look, we know that Nusha is infected, and we want it would be the best way of ensuring both that there would be at least some consideration for peace talks between species, and also putting a check on Nusha's power.
I feel like Nova has something to say, and I want to hear it.
I'm just worried about outing Nusha like that. I don't know that that's going to serve us in a way that we think it will. I think that's going to end up with her getting taken down and then them not trusting us anymore because we backed her.
We broke the covering, and they still trust us.
How well when the news comes out that the brain shrimp were working to get us to break the covering.
Oh, we won't say that.
But no, wait, I literally just said we should tell them everything.
Oh, I meant everything but that.
That is so perfect for the two of your characters. I'm sorry, that was just like that moment felt very very true to the two of these characters. How is Thea feeling during this conversation?
Thea wants to do whatever it takes to back Nusha.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure about telling everybody everything.
Do you want to check in about that?
Yeah. Can I
Okay.
check in?
So this very private conversation that no one else can hear. Close your ears, everyone, I guess. Or imagine that you can't hear this. No, it's fine. So how do you start? How do you communicate with this person inside your head?
I think I think at it, or they want to share everything.
Yeah, it's interesting. How do you feel about that?
It could make people less scared to know that there are already couplings.
Yeah. And in case it backfires, it's not like your group actually knows where we are and how we are protected or anything, right? They haven't uncovered any of that? Or if they have, they haven't told you, yes?
I think they would tell me, but
I think so too.
they haven't said anything.
So even if they do out us as existent, well, secrecy is a useful tool for something like us. But perhaps honesty is a good tool too. Yes, I support this plan.
Then Thea says out loud, I think we should go with Caliban's plan. I think it's worth telling everybody and then backing Nusha.
So
I'm waiting.
okay. So here's what's I kind of love it, but is the world really going to be ready? Is what I'm wondering. And I think if we spill it all today, then no matter what we say about Nuja, she's not gonna get the traction she needs. But what if we back her today and then spill it tomorrow?
This is an excellent plan. I like the way this friend of yours thinks.
That's a really good plan.
I knew you would get it. You always get me.
Yeah.
What if we were to try to talk with Nuja before any of this goes down? And try to get another informed opinion and see if she's going to come clean about it and get some more information about what she actually wants.
An idea?
Do we have time to do that?
Yeah, it would be. It's tight, but I think I think mechanically you can do one thing before you have to endorse someone or choose not to endorse anyone. Well, which is fine.
I think if you all do that, I'm just going to go back to the Sky in the Mountain. That's all right.
You wouldn't want to be part of that conversation?
She makes me uncomfortable. If it's all right, I'd like some time to myself before this.
That's fascinating. So
I can make a deception check if you want.
Yeah, I mean, please do. I think that seems like warranted at this point.
Yeah, this is weird. This is weird.
Where is my stuff? There is my stuff. I'm not very good at deception. Oh,
Nope. I don't allow passive insight, so I need everyone to roll. If you think you would question this, feel free to roll.
Yeah.
So, Nova, you look at Caliban, and Caliban, what are the sort of physical signs that your body is giving away that mean that you're not telling the truth here? Are you sweating? Are you twitching?
No. I'm probably like sweaty palms, just sort of doing this a little bit. Specifically when that's a high insight. When Celexa mentioned the idea of telling everyone the day after we vote for Nuja, he started doing that.
Caliban, can we talk for a second?
Sure, we're talking.
Yeah.
You mean like off to the side? Over there?
Yeah. That...
Sure.
The two of you walk to the side, still walking forward, obviously, towards the city at this point.
Yeah.
The woods will end soon, and we'll come into the edges of the city.
That seems real suspicious that you wouldn't want to talk to Nuja. And I've never known you to be, to shy away from something because you were uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're right. I don't want to always be the contrarian here, you know? I think I don't trust her one bit. And I think if we vote for her, it's not going to be because that's changed for me. It's going to be because that's the best course of option for the goal that we as a group have settled on. But I want to make sure that I make her uneasy. Does that make sense?
How will you not being there change that?
You know what? You're right. I'll go with you. It's fine.
I just did you have a plan of something else you were going to do?
No. And with your insight, yes.
Yeah, of course, he's lying.
So you're coming with us then, right?
Yeah, I'll come with you.
Okay, all right.
Sure.
Like that also. Can I insight whether he's actually?
Yeah, you can use the same.
Yeah, let's just let it ride. So it's
I'm
not.
going to come with you.
Okay, you're not gonna pull a Thea.
Pull
I'll come with
yeah.
you. I'll be there.
I approve of this verbiage. Sorry, Ami. Yeah, so I think you get from that like he's going with you, but he did have a plan. He just was unwilling to share it with you, and it would have led him to be doing something, but you pushing him on it forces him sort of into a situation where he's like, I don't want to make this an issue right now with you. Basically, I think that's what's really going on.
Okay.
Even if Nova would have approved of your plan, you managed to stop it. I have no idea if Nova would have approved of the plan. I don't
He
know.
would not have approved of the
Not have approved of the plan.
No.
No.
Do you want to share what the plan was, just out of curiosity, or no?
Sure. I might still do it in some capacity. I'm going to get in because Aida left me with an attendant.
Yeah.
So I was going to tell her everything.
Tell Aida tell the attendant.
Tell the attendant everything.
I love it. That's awesome.
And have Aida decide whether or not she wanted to share it with everyone before the election.
I kind of love that. Wow. Cool. Awesome. Okay. I would have approved of that plan, but I guess I like drama.
I still
more
might do a little sleight of hand.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Thing. We'll see.
So you guys come out of the forest and are at the outskirts of the city. The time is, we'll say, roughly an hour before the various sorts of endorsement ceremonies that you would be expected to be involved in if you were going to endorse anyone. And that gives you collectively one thing to do before the endorsements, if you're going to endorse someone. And it sounds like the whole group wants to go chat with Nuja about this. Excellent. Then that is our group action that we will do. Timothy looks unhappy.
No, it's good. It's good.
Okay. Sorry, just checking.
Didn't want Plan B.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, so everyone makes your way to Nuja's offices. Everything's very, very busy right now. You can see that there's like a miniature campaign going on, right? So we can imagine people running in and out and sort of a lot of chaos going on, and Nuja picking things and assistants picking things, and Nuja looks at you guys and says, I don't have much time before the rally. Is there something that you need?
We need to have a private conversation.
You're all nodding. Okay, sure. This way. And she like walks into a room and like opens the door, and there's like a bunch of, I don't know, the equivalent of unpaid interns stuffing envelopes or whatever in this universe, and she just says out, and they like hop up and run out of the room. She closes the door behind her as you guys enter. What is it?
I'll take a chair and go sit in the corner.
So, if we're gonna just skip right to the meat and potatoes, we know that you're infected. And for some reason, we are still considering nominating you. So we need to have a talk.
What do you mean you know that you think I am one of the infected?
We know that you are.
That is a serious accusation, so just cast without any evidence.
I mean, we can play this game if you want, but if you want the nomination, we need to have this talk now.
I would appreciate a nomination. Speak.
Well, we need to know what your plans are about we don't have a better name, but so far we're calling them brain shrimp. I don't know if you would like that name. I don't know if they like that name, but that's so far what we got.
And you wish me to say what?
We need to know what your plans are for it, like cohabitation or world domination, or like what is.
There are not enough left for any world domination, as it's clear that you are aware.
I mean, there's more worlds apparently, so.
Yes, and that makes it even less likely that we could dominate any of them.
Okay, so not that one.
What would that even look like?
I don't know. I've never tried, but I mean, I think really what we're getting at here is, in some ways, this is a courtesy call. Believe it or not, I know we didn't come across that way, but telling everyone everything at some point would expose your condition, right? And this is a delicate situation.
Sure, sign my death sentence if you want. I can't stop you.
Do you think we shouldn't tell everyone? Is what you're saying?
Obviously, what?
If it comes from us that we believe that you all mean no harm, that we can talk about this, and that the Kavak can learn more about you. I think we're the only people who they might listen to.
Roll a persuasion check.
Just me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the first.
Can I assist in something?
How do you assist? How do you help?
I
The goal
just
here is to get her to not to agree. She's not going to agree in one check. Well, the goal is to get her to even listen to this, because right now she thinks that you came in here and threatened her, basically. That's her interpretation of events. So what do you say, Nova?
I say we're not coming in here to threaten you. We're coming in here to have a discussion and decide what we should do about all of this. And we don't I don't think any of us want to throw you under the bus. But moving forward and trying to figure out what works best for everyone would require some input from you, I think.
Calvin, roll that persuasion check at advantage.
Thank God I was at advantage.
Yeah. So she pauses and looks, and she says, "You think these fools are so religious that they'll just, if you tell them, they'll just believe you because you are their gods?"
Yes.
They didn't kill us for breaking the covering, so I feel like that's some good evidence.
A
So-
lot changed, and change fast. And if we keep the changes coming, then they just have to keep adjusting. Not true.
Also, what a better way to strengthen our defenses and strengthen our knowledge and relationships with the outside world, with the alien world, than to have a species of alien working with us. I mean, because we're kind of at a deficit currently in terms of defense.
So I think what this comes down to,
Yes.
Nuja, and I've always been your biggest fan, and I hope that you know that. I was prepared to back you regardless, but as a group, I understand we have sort of a responsibility to hold fast to each other, and so I think this comes down to a choice. And I think it's your choice. And I think the choice is that you agree to accept our support and help you to get to win the seat today. And tomorrow, with our support, you pardon the expression, come out of the closet with a plan. And I think it'll be better coming from you than from us, but we'll be there to support you. And you can count on us to protect you as well, I think, if that should happen. Or the other choice is you can send us away and we can go and support Aida. And I think that's your choice.
She walks over to the window and sort of looks out.
Is she looking at anything particular?
Yeah, roll a perception check.
Okay.
She seems to be looking at passersby, not the distance, but specifically at people who are walking by. And then she says, in some ways, this society, it is rooted so heavily in faith. And that is something that I will never understand. I met a being that told me it was God. And for the harm it caused to my life and to my people, I strangled it with my hands. New hands. I guess they weren't technically mine. You are all in agreement? And she turns back and looks she doesn't look at all of you, she looks directly at Thea.
Thea looks her dead in the eyes and says, yes.
Then tomorrow I will tell the world, or at least the Kava. And we will see what happens. But if it comes to destruction and genocide, as I expect, or think possible, then let the cost of it be upon your head.
Do I believe her when she says that she's going to tell everyone tomorrow?
Roll an insight check.
Could I also roll an insight check?
Absolutely.
And
would you also like to write it?
No, in a way it seems moot because if she doesn't, then we will.
You will, yeah.
And so it
Yeah, and I think with your 14 insight checks, that's what you can see, right? She understands that, like, if she wins this thing, the only way for her to guarantee that she's going to win this thing is with your guys' support. And you guys have said that she's coming out tomorrow, basically, in exchange for that. And so she's resigned herself to that. She's definitely not, like, happy about it. I think you can see, like, a little tension in her jaw. She does not think this is the right call, but sometimes you have to do things that you think aren't the right call because your allies think it is the right call. So,
and as I said, we're should that come to pass, we'll be there to support and protect you to the best of our ability. And she looks at Caliban and Nova.
Very well. My aide tells me that I have to change before the speech, but I'll see you there, yes? Before the... Excellent. I appreciate it. I'll see you at the Celestial Domain then. And, at moments like these, moments in history, people remember prettier words than were actually said. But I thank you for the support. And I hope for both my peoples that this works. And she walks out the room.
Well, I think that went great, guys. It'll be fine.
I'll find out soon.
Yeah.
We'll find out soon. Okay. So I think our next scene is the rally. I don't know how much in detail we want to go into it, but it feels like a rally. There's speeches being given and things like that. Do all 5 of you go to this rally? Now that the group has made a decision to support her?
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. And Timothy is the one I was curious about, but he also says yes. I was just curious. Okay. And you are each given a time slot to speak if you so desire. Does anyone have anything in particular that they want to say in support of Nuja, or is just more generic? Just we not zoom in on this. Is there anything going on backstage that we're not privy to, or anything like that? Timothy.
Oh, yeah. If given the chance to like guest lecture, absolutely.
What do you talk about? Fish?
I just want to say like a few words.
Yeah, please.
In nature, change is inevitable. One of my professors used to say, life finds a way. And sometimes that change is scary, but it doesn't mean it's wrong or bad. Thank you for coming to my Tim Talk.
Woo, Timothy! Yeah, and like the crowd goes wild. This is by far the best reception one of your lectures has ever received. I would like you to roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion?
Or I would like Timothy to roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
Nicely rolled. Good to know. Okay.
So Lexa, it shows up like looking, like she's about to be coronated. And she, while she mostly sort of stands in the background, she also, you might notice when Nuja is talking, there's like butterflies flitting around, and like the flowers look greener, and there's like shimmers of like iridescent sparkles in the air around her. And yeah, she's certainly she's got more than a little bit of a je ne sais quoi compared to the rest of the people around her.
Beautiful. Yeah, so you use your magic to sort of help facilitate and make her look even better.
Yeah. Alexa, I think, will burn a minor image spell on that in addition to or silent image in addition to her cantrips and stuff.
Cantrips and stuff like that. Yeah, works. Sounds beautiful to me. I love it.
Do I notice Masozi here?
Ooh, what an excellent question. Yeah, why don't you roll a perception check?
I'm rolling so bad.
Sometimes. You've also rolled the most, so do you see Masozi here? No, you do not see Masozi here.
Is anyone else planning on speaking?
There certainly are other speakers if any of you want to speak. Interestingly, as you're looking for Masozi Caliban, you see Aida sort of having a discussion with one of the guards at this event, one of the people who's supposed to keep the public out from backstage or whatever, right?
I'll approach.
Listen, I'm here. I just wish to say a few words. Isn't that okay? I'm sorry, but you're not on the speaking list. No, but I promise it's for the good. I understand that, but you're not on the speaking list. That sort of argument is going
What seems to be the problem?
Chosen one. Hello. Um, you have made your choice.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Don't be. It is your choice. I came to assist.
Is this me and us in our choice?
Yes, of course.
Sorry, who is here?
This
Is
is
this
Aida.
Said?
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm like, aren't you running for the seat?
I'm conceding and endorsing. I came to you. I heard that you had all unanimously made a decision. I will not act against the chosen.
If that's the case, you're going on stage to speak now.
Given the opportunity, I would appreciate a chance to say a few small words.
Let her speak. She deserves. She has every right.
But she's not on the speaking list. She's not allowed backstage right
Do you
now.
have the list there?
Yeah.
Can I see it?
Yeah, and he holds you the list.
Okay, I pull out a pen and write her name in the
Of
list.
course. And he like looks so confused by this, and like he has this like weird moment where like you don't have the authority, and then he pauses for a second. It's like actually you might have the authority, and it's all like you see a whole string of things, and he's like, I don't really want to go against you.
Is that the complex math meme?
Yeah, yeah, perfect. So he has a complex math meme moment, and just sort of gets out of her way awkwardly,
I bow lightly to her.
and she nods. Nova.
I'd like to wait until after she speaks, if that's okay.
Sure, that's fine. Theo, do you have anything that you want to add to the proceedings?
I don't think so. Something generic.
Yeah. So Aida makes her way onto the stage, and Nuja looks shocked. And I think it comes up. I think you overhear, one of you overhears that like earlier today behind council chambers, Aida referred to Nuja as a disgusting warmongering villain. Like 8 hours ago, maybe 6 hours ago. And Aida walks on stage and turns to address the crowd, and she says, greetings, everyone. I am a devout person, and Nuja is not. Nuja never has been, and in the last year or so, it has become markedly decreased. She is a woman of science, not of faith. But this woman of science seems to have been chosen by my faith. And so I am rescinding my application. I cannot be removed from the lists, of course. That is not the way we do things via tradition. A tradition that I hope that Nuja maintains. For tradition is valuable. But anyone who is thinking of supporting me, I would request that you instead support Nuja and the chosen. They have chosen her just as they have been chosen. And while the changes that they have brought to our society are hard, it is all for the best. And this is the way we must go. And this is what must be. I thank you for your time. And she bows and walks off the stage, making eye contact with no one.
How does the crowd react to this?
Generally positively. The people who are here are, the people who are directly here are here because they are either on the fence or they were already supporters, right? you sort of stack your political rallies with people who like you, and so she's basically conceding to people who are against her. Um, and like that doesn't mean word won't get around, right? If I don't know, if someone conceded and endorsed their opponent, that's at a rally that they were doing, that would be big news everywhere. But it's definitely like, and like I think that there's some people who like probably booed when she came on stage, but other people like did the shush and let her speak, and it's sort of, she turned it around a little bit. She's definitely more popular, and I think she gets like polite applause as she's leaving, with a couple of whoops. It's definitely a complicated thing. It was, I mean, she definitely endorsed this person, but she also sort of like got her own tradition really matters though a dig in there too. So you know, I think it's a complicated but generally warm reception at this grab. Nova?
Nova just approaches the microphone or whatever and says, I just want to reiterate that as the chosen few, we are unanimously supporting Nusha for her position, and walks away.
Perfect. Yeah, you get wild applause. People love you and think you are awesome. So, good stuff. I guess weird stuff. Hopefully, on some level. Okay, the rally is over. Your endorsement is finalized, and there's really not a lot left to do before the election occurs. With all 5 of you endorsing the same person, and the person who was actually a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit in the lead, and Aida's change of heart, it is a landslide victory. Nusha doesn't just win a little bit, she wins a lot. There were 4 people in the race, and Nusha received more than 70% of the vote. So she has sort of a political mandate at this point. Excellent. So let's see. After this is over, we find you guys. Our scene finds us at the Sky and the Mountain, and Arwa shows up to speak to you all. Hello.
Hi, Arwa.
You endorse Nusha.
It's complicated, but you guys are both great, but I feel like we felt like she deserved a chance.
You don't need to justify yourself to me. I understand. I guess. I thought she was infected.
You told me yesterday that, and rightfully so, that any decision that we made, destroying the covering, voting for Nusha, that we should stand by it, because it's by standing by those decisions that we move forward.
Hard for me not to be a little bitter about saying that to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope you made the right decision for my people. I hope that you did the thing that will save them. And I hope that you truly are as chosen as people say. I'm off.
Before you go, just a plea for help, perhaps. Just consider it. You don't have to say anything, but there will be changes in the coming days.
Many.
And keep an open mind.
Oh, sorry. When I said I'm off, I've been exiled. I'm leaving. The Kava.
You've been exiled from the Kava?
Yes.
On what grounds?
Nuja has exiled me. It is her right.
Really?
Yes. Take care of yourselves. I felt it would be weird or awkward if I left without having said goodbye of some sort.
Where will you go?
I was thinking south. I haven't really seen a lot of this world. The light is very bright, so I was thinking about spending some time in Abarak or perhaps in Chalestra.
Well, you know, just if you ever need a place to stay, you can always swing by my family. We've got plenty of space. You know, you can just let them know you know me, and they're used to it. Trust me, they're used to it. They'll just show up and say you're a friend.
I will keep Sunera on my list of options then. But this is goodbye.
Thank you.
Don't thank me. I don't know if anything I did was right. I don't know if bringing you here was right anymore. I trusted in my faith.
The river flows one way.
Exactly.
You should come back.
Come back.
I mean, I don't know. We'll
To
figure
where?
it out. We'll figure it out. Give it some time. Come back.
The Kava is not known for changing its decision on exiles, even if we may overlook it sometimes. And she looks over at Nephany.
Yeah, the Kava's not known for changing much, is it? But here we are.
Yes. Well, these people look up to you. Remember that responsibility is there as well. And she turns and she walks away.
Are we in the lobby of the Sand Mountain? Are we standing on the outside?
Yeah, you've got like that sort of area that's like a dining room / living room / hangout spot that we have conversations in. We need to have conversations in a room.
I wordlessly turn and head up to my room.
That was super awkward.
Poor Arwa.
I don't have a good feeling about this. This is why you don't get involved in politics. Oh my goodness.
I wonder what else Nuja has done so far.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow, I'm sure. Personally going to sleep next to my sword. Not to say that I don't usually, but I would caution everyone to stay safe.
Yeah, you hear in your head, see, they already don't trust us. I'm not as convinced of this decision of yours. Perhaps we should maintain secrecy for a while longer, at least until we can get another one of your friends on board.
I talked to Nuja.
Say again?
Could I talk to Nuja about keeping secret?
it's a possibility, but we have to be able to make our own decisions too, not just follow blindly. Okay. And we'll call that a long rest. I'm betting that everyone needs one after a long, long day. But I feel like there might be a couple interruptions before that long rest. So Caliban, please.
Does anyone else want to have anything they want to do first? Okay. I have one more. So I have 2 more second level spell slots. I'm going to store them as lesser restoration and enhanceability.
Okay.
And then I use my last spell slot of the day, my last 3rd level, to cast Sending. Pull out a copper wire. And cast Sending to Roland Starbrand.
Nice.
And say, it's Caliban. Change in government here. Kaval will start trading with other planets, other worlds. I worry about staying.
And you get a reply. And he says, get me more information as possible. Is new government favorable to peace? Have you heard about Chalestra? Is the group staying safe?
That's my last spell.
Yep. No, he started with limitations understood. So, we'll start there. And I think with that, we'll take our break. And we'll return tomorrow morning, if that's okay with everyone. Are all going to be... Oh, sorry, please.
Celexa is just working on her Kavanian before bed. That's all.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah, Timothy.
I send my servant off on a mission to get like just a couple extra, like a sword, a thing, like just a couple things. I don't need them right away, but just like a laundry list.
Yeah, absolutely. You will have all of them when you wake up in the morning, assuming that there's nothing insanely special there. Great. Assuming it's all things that you can get in a player's handbook, then you have it all in the morning. Excellent. Then with that, Nova, please.
One more thing. Like a long time ago, Nephany started translating this weird code that was written by some servants.
Yeah.
I was wondering if that was ready.
Yeah, sure. We can have that be ready. That seems totally reasonable. Oh boy. Let's figure out the context for this thing. Okay. So I'm gonna reveal something here. I have many different documents for my notes for my various games from the Shimmering Seas, and that sometimes is a problem. So can you give me a little bit more context about this moment in time when this note that was being translated? Because I definitely have it.
We had broken into the servants' chambers, and there were like some weird like love letter poetry to us, and then there was a coded note.
Right.
It was like all scrambled up.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, she can have that, and you'll have that when we get back from break. We're going to take our break now. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. I'm going to go find a missing note that I wrote a while ago. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Chosen Few. Hope you're having a good time with the show. I'm having a good time with it. This group of people is really fun to game with, and I feel very lucky. If you are enjoying our content here, come check out some of the other content on this channel. We've got shows every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. You can see the schedule down beneath in the doobly-doo, as it is so often referred to, beneath the Twitch stream thing. And yeah, all that good stuff. Also, I will be guest emceeing, I guess they call it, a game of Apocalypse World on Polished Cryptid's channel for the next 4 weeks, starting on Saturday, 6 o'clock my time, PST. And you should come check that out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're already doing world building and character creation, and it's a lot of fun. And one of the players is already stroking my ego, and I'm already thinking about how to cause them so much suffering. So, you know, should be fun. Should be fun. Should be fun. Okay, back to the game. Timothy, you wake up at ungodly early hours in general, yes?
Absolutely.
Is that just as true today?
It even more so, I believe.
Great.
Yeah.
Then I think that you are the only person who is awake when the town criers run through the streets screaming at the top of their lungs. War! War! War has been declared! War has been declared!
Excuse me, young person.
Yeah?
War and where and who?
Well, you declared war against us, I guess?
I didn't do anything.
I mean, not you, but your people, you. You're funny.
That seems a little, problematic. Do you mean like an uprising of the Southern Lizard Folk Militia?
Well, Chalestra has declared war on Kava.
That's not good.
Well, yeah. That's why I was told to run through the streets and just start yelling it so that everyone would know.
Who told you to do that?
My boss.
Who's your boss?
His name is Reggie.
Okay. Great. Well, thanks. Hey, would you consider well, whatever. Just go on your way. This is not good.
And he keeps running through the street, and this is, of course, this kid screaming at the top of his lung, war, war, war. This is what you all wake up to this morning.
Uh-oh.
Oh God! Well, somebody. Who is that? Somebody shut that guy up. Oh.
And I think Captain Johanna looks at you and is like, "It's too early for me to take instructions on that front." Plus, he sounds like he's like 10.
Oh.
So Lexa is going to drag herself into the common area.
Noah springs out of bed with her sword in hand.
Yeah, war's been declared.
I'm ready.
I'm going to continue where I was going before.
So,
yeah. Timothy, let's finish you first, and then we'll go check in on Slexa.
Common area now, I'm guessing.
I have a bindle essentially of useful things, which will be which I will send what they are to you in just a second. And I have a shovel, and I'm going out into the forest line, and I'm finding a nice spot, and I'm going to bury these things in the woods.
Okay, so you're making a cache for you to find later.
Exactly.
Perfect. Wonderful. I love it. Pretty quickly, someone shows up and looks around at all of you. Caliban, you're in the common area. This person walks straight up to you and grabs you by the shirt and says, "Where's Timothy? Did he betray us? Has he gone over?"
We're at war, right? What's going on?
Chalestra has declared war against the Kava.
Yeah,
Don't tell me that you're unaware of that. You're one of them, aren't you? Are you a spy?
No.
Did you come here on their behalf?
calm down. I just woke up. Could you get me some coffee? Actually, would you mind?
He like is so befuddled by this request. What?
And who are you? Sorry, have we met?
No, we have not.
Did this guy run into the Sky Mountain?
Yeah, he ran into the Sky of the Mountain, into the common area where a couple of you are, looks around and doesn't see Timothy, but does see Caliban,
Oh,
and just
okay.
grabs Caliban because he knows that Caliban and Timothy are from Celestro.
All right.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Look, we've been here the entire time. We didn't declare war on you. We are here still to help you and hopefully resolve this conflict. Help resolve this conflict without any bloodshed, which would be awesome. Do you know why we're at war by any chance? I'm genuinely curious.
I haven't received my briefing or update. I was sent to get you, but
Then let's go. We can
Need-
wait for Timothy though.
how long do you think it'll be?
No idea.
Are the
wanna
rest
go
of you here?
first?
He sort of looks around. Is everyone in the common room area? Yeah. Okay.
Timothy, he's always doing his own thing. He knows how to find us. He'll find us. Not
We could leave him a note. Where are we going?
Yeah, who's sending for us?
We are needed. And he looks at you and says, probably the trust ward first, but shortly after that, we'll go to the Ursera.
Great. I'll leave a note for Timothy saying we're off to the trust ward and then the Usera if we're not there.
Yeah. And I think Nephany pops up at this point and walks over to you, Nova, and just slips you a piece of paper.
What does it say?
There's a lot.
Ooh,
Would you like to read it?
sure. It's 4 notes. New note. Query. How much information can we get about these chosen? We have no one in their inner circle. Is there a way to get someone inside? I know that it is against protocol, but they have already risen to prominence within this land. If we can turn one of their lackeys, their servants, or best, one of their own, might that not be good for us? Note number 2. They have begun testing their servants, and their tests work. I cannot return home and will starve for several days, but worry not. I have found a way to temporarily pass their inspection, but I am restrained here. I have my eyes on several of their servants that may be turned. It is also possible that we should approach them openly. This is something I doubt, though Timothy has shown predilections for protecting the weak. Note number 3. We should consider bringing one of them in. We need someone on the inside of a group this powerful. And new note number 4. Consider Thylor, Psionic are a problem.
So did you read this note out loud to the group, or did you read
No. No way.
She read it out loud to anyone who's watching.
I immediately look at Thylor.
He's sitting there. I think he's actually making your preferred morning beverages. He knows what they all are, and so he's got coffee for Caliban. He's got tea for Thea, and various other sorts of things.
I also look at Thea because it mentioned Psionic. But I don't bring any of this up right now.
I'm just drinking tea.
Let's go to the trust ward then, yeah? Or
Yes. Forgive me, we haven't met. My name is Akasho.
Okay.
Typically, I'm not called for, and typically I was not involved in anything, but I'm the general.
Oh.
You've met one of my assistants, Bashir. He
I'm
mentioned that he is engaged with you sometimes for certain
My-
projects.
deepest apologies for asking you for coffee. Then
No, it's fine. I should have. It would have been more appropriate for me to introduce myself as I entered into a room of strangers. I admit that I am not used to entering into rooms with strangers. I've never really met strangers. I grew up here my whole life.
If luck, if my, I believe that we'll probably be meeting a lot more people from the outside, pretty soon, if there is more going on.
I am no diplomat. Come on. And he turns and storms out of the room.
Right.
A note is left for Timothy, I presume. Excellent. Okay. So the four of you and anyone you want with is brought to the trust ward. As you come in, you are hurried and rushed to an area of the trust ward that you haven't been before. It's the underground part of the trust ward. Just like most buildings have some degree of underground, the trust ward has one as well. And their underground area is, shall we say, more heavily guarded than anything that you've seen before to this date. They were carefully keeping you out of certain places, but they tried to usually do it politely. Here it's more like, yes, there are guards, they have sticks, they will poke you if you do something wrong. So it's a much more aggressive and clearly militaristic side of the Kavad than you guys have really been introduced to before this. You head down the stairs and into not down the stairs, down the lift thing, and find yourself in a very large underground round room, probably about the size of a football field. And people running around all parts of it. There's desks and tables everywhere, and lots of people moving around in various spots. And Nuja is there, and she looks up and she sees you, and she says, come over. We could use your input and expertise.
Well, good morning to you too. So it sounds like an exciting morning, huh?
Yes, some business has occurred. I don't know what to expect or when to expect it, but apparently an emissary arrived at our borders today with a note that declared that Celestra is at war with us.
Why?
Well, bear in mind that I'm working from incomplete information at this point, but as best I can tell, one of our agents in the world interpreted the signs of the covering being destroyed as, well, I guess his interpretation was that we needed the world strong to protect ourselves. And so he attempted to assassinate someone who was a leader in the Chelestran hierarchy or something. I don't understand how their system works at all. But one of their leaders there, and attempted to assassinate this person in order to secure the power of another person, and was killed in the process by apparently another Kavanian who was in exile there.
We have this Kavanian's information. Can we get them to make a statement to show that we are not, that the Kava is not accountable for this? Like,
she is in exile.
Yeah, I got that part. Can we contact her?
Not easily.
What's her name? What does she look like?
Her name is Kazan. Kazan bint Nazma.
Great. Okay.
And she was the one who, prevented the assassination from taking place. So presumably she understood. I don't even know what we should be doing at this point. This is a mess. This was not how I intended to start my first day.
Like my grandma used to say around dinner, like, there is just nobody to cause worse trouble than a bad assassin, right? Happens so often.
From
Yeah.
what we've been able to deduce, he he attempted to do it inside a crowded room of the most important and powerful and influential people in the building.
Was he acting alone? Was he on orders?
When it comes to members of the Sublime Garden, our agency, that's a complicated question. They are given a lot of leeway to believe in and investigate all sorts of things.
Right.
Okay. And she looks around, and like this room is too big for her to get any privacy. And so she looks around, and she's like ushers you to the side. She says, "Kasho, can you start figuring out a defensive battle plan? We don't want to be an aggressor here, especially if this can be solved as a misunderstanding only." And then she starts like walking to the side, and expecting you guys to follow her.
Yes.
So you all follow her to the side, and she looks around and she says, "Listen, the way that the Kava have things set up, the destruction of the covering is like this thing that they believed meant that hordes of aliens were going to come and invade. So they have this express goal of hold on, guys, give me 1 second. Pardon me, back. Apologize. Shared living spaces. Okay. So looks at you and says, the way the Kava have this whole thing set up, they told all their agents that if the covering ever came down, that was a sign that hordes of powerful beings were going to come and attack the planet and try and destroy everything. And so as a result, they had this belief that like the most important thing is that the societies of this planet be strong. So likely they were trying to assassinate to like create strength. It's madness. I don't understand why these people behave like this.
Well, we'd better start understanding. What did you need our help with specifically?
I don't know. Akosha wants you and Timothy thrown in jail, presuming that you are Chalestran spies.
Okay.
I talked him out of that, obviously, but there's sort of a belief that you were a cleric, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like,
Of ancient Celestial gods, yeah.
and Timothy is like a, I don't know, what's the word? Academic
Academic.
ish person.
Yeah.
So I have trouble imagining that you guys have like deep insights into typical Chalestran battle plans.
Not particularly. Would Caliban know the relationship between the Order of Starlight and Celestra at this moment? Could he like, or is the Order of would the Order of Starlight be trying to back Celestra in this situation, or would they be trying to mediate between the two?
Yeah, the Order of Starlight is devoutly and explicitly interested in peace. War is against their desires and against their goals, and so they would immediately have an interest in trying to resolve this peaceably. That being said, if it came down to sides, the Order of Starlight would 100% back Chalestra over the Kava, because the Kava have been reluctant partners in this whole project, and Chalestra have been like active partners, relatively complicatedly, but you know.
So then I'll say to Nuja, like, we need to tell the Order of Starlight like immediately that we have no intention of being at war with Celestra, and that we would love to have some peace talks, and that this person acted on their own.
Akosha comes over at this point, and says, "I think this is a bad plan. Honestly, you want my opinion? Do you want my opinion?" And Nujal says, "Of course, Akosha. You are not on the council, of course, because that would be inappropriate, but that doesn't mean we don't want your opinion on matters of war." And Akosha nods and says, "It is my opinion, then, that the sky has literally cracked open, and hordes may be coming to invade this planet at any minute. And if we want this planet to survive, then the best thing to do that would be a unified front. My personal opinion is that we use what might we have to start by conquering Chalestra and immediately follow around to conquering Prion, Abarak, and Sunera and turning them into our independent city-states that all work for us so that we can provide a unified front against the Empire and God knows whatever else comes through the covering.
Yeah. So when you say unified front, you mean a dominion, not a collective of unified peoples. You want to oppress those working and fighting for those countries so that they may fight begrudgingly for us. That's not going to work very well.
I want to save what I can of this planet. That's my job. The politics aside, because I don't get politics, I don't care about politics. Politics aside, my job is to save this planet. The more
Your job
people,
is to stab things. You're a general. You're there to fight.
yeah, he pulls out a
We're
sword
here
and
to
stabs you.
talk. Okay.
He stabs you right through the chest.
Okay. Do I get some sort of save?
I think it'll be an attack at advantage against your armor class.
Okay, sounds good.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Cool. That's a natural 20.
Awesome.
That would be 30 points of damage.
Okay, I'm still alive.
Is your intention to fight or fall?
I will fall to the ground as if unconscious.
And he just looks at you and sort of cleans off his sword and points at someone and says, "Get this mess out of here." And-
No, immediately pulls out her sword and starts to attack them.
Yeah, please. Let's roll initiative.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Let's this is not a good battle map for this, but whatever. I'm gonna move you to a random battle map. Oh, you know what? We'll do this. This will be a fine battle map. Okay.
I didn't initiate this one.
No, you did not.
Wow.
You insulted someone who does not take any kindness from insults at all. Timothy is not here. Let's add. What do we got here? He's going to be a cute kobold because that's what I happen to have under my fingers right now. Makes no sense. And this will be that'll be Nuja. Okay.
Which one is Nusha?
Nuja's the turtle, and
Okay.
the general is the cute kobold
Great.
with wings. Okay. Lexa.
I think the icon that you have for me isn't my character icon. I can't move it around.
I will fix that in 1 second.
Okay.
And Thea is in there already. Nova is 5.
Alexa, nice.
That's what we like to see. This would be Caliban.
You'll love to see it.
This is Lexa. Evan, can you do me a favor and remind me that Caliban's token is not connected? Sometime not during session. It's an easy fix, but it takes like time that I don't want to do.
I'll message you off stream.
Sounds good. Okay.
Nice.
And other people will act on 10.
I'm not in the turn order yet.
I have you at 18.
I don't
Yeah,
see her
I'm not
in
in
the-
the.
Well, fine. If you want to be in the turn order, fine. Sorry.
Who else is in here?
Yeah, he has like all sorts of soldiers and guards and people like that running around. Probably mostly like brass military rather than like soldier military, rank and file military. But there's still a fair number of them. Here. Celexa. This guy stabs Caliban, and Caliban falls to the ground, seemingly unconscious.
Celexa, Celexa like screams, and she um almost like before it's done, as she sees it happening in just like a lightning quick moment of time, she both has her sword in hand and also is eldritch blasting at the general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do it. A 20 hits, a 27 definitely hits.
Great. And that what the general is also forced up to 20 feet.
Mhm.
And she is basically going to, assuming that the room allows this, is going to slam him up against the wall.
Yeah, sure. I think that's cool enough that I'm gonna change everyone's position so that happens. If that's okay with people. Yeah, so you slam him up against the wall.
Yeah. And she so these kind of like bubbles of force just like impact him, and kind of ripple past his entire body and shove him, probably like flying like for 20 feet. He's probably like flying through the air,
Yeah.
and hitting the wall. And she has, like I said, she has her sword in hand and is like she's about to advance towards him, and then she like hesitates and like looks back to Caliban, and she's just gonna be frozen there for a moment. That's where she's gonna end her turn.
Sounds good. Thea.
Alright, so seeing him be thrown against this wall, Thea takes out her longbow and shoots.
Take that shot. Ooh, a 9 though, unfortunately does not hit. Caliban.
I'm on the ground. Do I can I crack open an eye and just see what the other troops are doing, what their intent might be?
Yeah, roll a perception check.
And also Nuja while I'm there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Nuja is in a state of panic. She desperately wants to stop this. Probably the worst thing in the world for her new government would be if her military slaughtered the chosen few on her first day in office, officially. That would be a very bad thing. So she desperately wants to stop this either way. The soldiers look confused and like they have a fair bit of doubt.
Okay. I sit up slightly and cast Hold Person.
Nice on our bad guy.
Yeah, on Akasha.
Okay.
It's a Wisdom save, right? I believe.
Yes.
Wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for a minute as long as I'm concentrating.
Okay. Get a 23.
23? Jesus Christ. That succeeds. Okay then. In that case, in doing that, does he notice that I'm?
Yeah, you sat up and pointed at him and cast a spell.
Okay. So I'll use my movement, half my movement to get up. and then 15 feet to get behind Nova here.
It seems like a good place to be. Okay,
Right.
Nuja has a turn.
Ow.
And I think Nuja on her turn, let me think about this. I think her first thing to do here is that she can't command everyone at once, so she turns to the soldiers and says, stay where you are or continue what you were doing. I will fix this. Don't get involved. She screams that at the soldiers. And let's see how she does. She does fine. She convinces the soldiers to stay where they are. Our bad guy, Akosha, looks at Nuja and says, "What are you talking about? Did you see what that boy said? Highly inappropriate." And he walks forward. Let's see, what do we do? I think he walks towards Nuja. And just ignores you guys for a turn. Nova.
Oh, I think I'm kind of torn a little bit because I really want to attack this guy, but also I think my bigger and bigger motive is to protect Caliban. So I guess I take out an arrow, so I can do both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect. So you shoot him.
I shoot him.
Take that shot. You miss.
Okay.
It ignores your shot entirely. I think it ricochets off like a pauldron on his shoulder.
That's probably better that way.
Yeah. Celexa, as it's your turn, he like shoots a glance at you and says, "Try nothing, witch." It's your turn.
Okay. Celexa. Sorry, 1 second here. Celexa casts levitate.
On him?
Yes.
Okay. So he starts floating into the air immediately. And I think he'll roll that con save to avoid it. He is not. 13 fails, yes?
Correct.
Okay. He's going to use Indomitable to roll that again. 18.
I think that makes it.
High level fighter, though.
Seems to be of some sort. Is that your turn, Celexa?
Celexa is going to. She is at this point. She is standing over Caliban.
Okay. So yeah, that makes it your turn.
Okay. I think he is just gonna hold her arrow, trying to be intimidating, but not shoot it.
Yeah, so you're going to hold your action to not shoot this person. Do you have a trigger that would cause you to shoot it?
I think if he attacked somebody again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you want, you can allow an intimidate roll.
Okay.
And then if you attack someone, you get to shoot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're a pretty good archer. It's intimidating to have you hold an arrow in someone's face. Caliban.
See, because like if we don't do anything, it just shows like total weakness. But if we do, I don't want to hurt him. I just want to show him that we have a place at the table. I'm going to really slyly try to be sly. Wink at Celexa and Nova and scream and fall unconscious.
Roll a deception check.
Actually, I'm going to. So, sorry. As my action, I'm going to use my ring to cast enhanceability on myself for charisma.
Nice.
And then do that.
Nice. Do it.
Deception. There it is. Real bad.
Yeah. So why is it real bad, Caliban? I'm just curious. Like, are you too subtle? Are you too overacting?
The lights! The lights! I've seen the lights! Ah! Oh,
I love
the tongue lolls out of my mouth.
I love it. Nuja turns towards Akosha and says, "You just stabbed one of the advisors that I brought here for critiquing your plan. This is not the way we have ever done things in the Kava. Behave." And he looks at her, and like you see tension in his jaw for a second, and then he just sheathes his sword and turns and yells, "Rilla, get over here!" And a woman comes on over, and she's very tough looking, very intense. And he says, "In the course of our discussion, I have stabbed someone unintentionally. Will you please see to his wounds?" She nods, and she walks over to you, Caliban, on the floor. He is not dead. It is a strong scratch, one might say. Hey, she slaps your face politely.
I thought I was gone there for a moment.
Do you wish for healing?
Yes, please.
How much healing would you like?
All of it, please. All the healing.
Waste. And she leans down and she casts heal on you, giving you 70 hit points.
Thank you. Oh, I feel rejuvenated. Thank you so much. What's your name? That was incredible.
Relly.
Really. Lovely to meet you. Thank you for this gift.
Don't insult General Akosha's honor if you wish to stay alive.
I learned that the hard way.
Just a suggestion. And she stands and walks away. I think at this point combat's over. He has sheathed the sword. Basically, like Nuja sends him over to like the table and turns to you and says, I, of course, will censure him for his behavior. I apologize on behalf of the Kava to you, Caliban.
I deserved at least some of that. For sure.
Some is different than you should be stabbed. If you would be willing to return to the table.
Yeah.
Relly and Akosha. And I think at this point, let's go check in with Timothy. So, Timothy, you heard the pronouncement of war. What do you do? Are you bury this cash?
I do. That was really early in the morning, I think. So I think Timothy finishes up, He goes over to the river and washes his hands
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
looks.
what's your passive perception?
15.
Hold on 1 second. Someone seems to be like keeping an eye on you from a distance.
Okay. So I notice them.
Yep.
Me. Okay.
Yeah. They're pretty good at it. But tie goes to the player in this case, so
Okay.
they're pretty subtle.
And well, then I'm just going to sit down at the river and say, "You, come on. I'm not getting any younger here."
And you're saying it to who?
The person following me.
Oh. They don't pop out.
Okay. That's fine then. I go back to the sky in the mountain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you find a note that says the people are at the trust ward.
Okay, I'll go there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I think you come downstairs, and I think you like come downstairs right in the end of the scene. You see a like big general-looking person storm over to a table while Caliban is getting healed from being stabbed in the gut. And Nusha is sort of apologizing to people. And I think as you are trying to enter, there's a little bit of like confusion and or aggression towards you, right? Mostly because you are lizard folk, right? And a lot of lizard folk in Chalestra, and so there's an assumption that you're from Chalestra. There's also an accurate assumption that you're from Chalestra. And Chalestra has just declared war, so there's some confusion.
Yeah, I think actually, just on the outside of the building, Timothy just stood there with his hands up and said, "Yeah, I know what's going to happen. So go ahead."
Okay. Yeah. No, they do not put you in chains, but they do escort you and have guards escort you downstairs.
Okay.
Okay. So you are all downstairs, and Nusha seems uncertain about what to do. Akosha looks stern and says, I have given my advice. You want to focus on small problems? Great. I can focus on small problems. That is, my job is to do what you demand, what you order. I have no qualms about following my orders. That is an honorable thing to do. You asked my advice. I told you what I think the correct thing to do is, but that is different than what I will do if told otherwise.
Right, I stand by what I said, besides the slight on your honor.
Have you... Celexa looks at the general, and she asks, have you been outside the Kava?
Yes. I fought in the wars.
She just turns away and she looks at Nusha and she says, "This man, he has no way of knowing that he could even do what he promises. And how many people would die?"
Last I checked, I have made no promises. I suggested a tactical solution to a tactical problem. That is all.
I asked you a question. You gave your answer. I didn't ask you anything else.
What is this lizard folk doing here?
This is Timothy, and you know why he's...
Oh, God, right, another one.
Another one what, sir?
No, don't start with that.
Oh, did I miss something?
You missed something.
Okay. I'm sorry, sir. I only mean to say, if I'm being honest, I'm hardly Chalestrin. I mean, I was born there, but I'd like to think of myself as a citizen of the world.
Sure. I've seen citizens of the world come and go. They all start that way and end up being loyalists to their place of birth.
Are you a loyalist to your place of birth?
I'm a loyalist to my leader.
Anyways,
Yes, let's move past this. Thank you, Nova. Well, obviously, we are not going to go to war with the entire world of Isaim and conquer it. That seems like a poor decision, militaristically and ethically and morally in every sense of the world. Can I get agreement from everyone here at the table on that? And she looks sternly at Akosha. Akosha sort of shrugs, not giving an answer. She looks around at the rest of you.
Yeah, duh.
Was that on the table?
And yeah, and then she looks around, and she looks at someone who is at the table who is robed heavily, and you cannot see their face. And she says, "Penitent brother, your wisdom, could a espionage campaign work in this front? Is that something that we should consider?" And the robed person doesn't reply at first, and again, you can't see their face. And when they do speak, it comes out sort of like a high whine, sort of like almost like a whistling sound. And it sounds, and they say, "Espionage is best used as support. Without more allies, it very rarely leads to control. I do not think that espionage is the way to go here. Certainly not considering some of our other projects. Also, I wish to apologize to everyone about this unfortunate event. I take responsibility, as the servant that went rogue was mine."
You are of the Sublime Garden, then?
Yes, I am the gardener.
Cool. That's not creepy. Cool. That's Evan saying that. Not Cal.
And wait, do we all know what the Sublime Garden is?
You found out earlier today. The Sublime Garden is their espionage and spy organization they have scattered throughout the world.
I think that starting with trying to convince them of the truth is how we should start, but also prepare for an attack.
Unfortunately, the truth is not exactly on our side. It was a servant of the Kavad that did this, and what he did, he believed was upon Kavanian orders. And were it not for an exile from the Kava, one who is exiled with cause, then this man would have gotten away with it. So the truth is that the reason that this assassination attempt failed is because an exile thought that it was wrong. That is not exactly truth being on our side.
Has Shalestra made any demands?
Nuja speaks up. Not yet. They've said nothing of the sort. It was odd. A person flew here by airship, stopped outside our airspace, and waited. And then one of our ships, a scout ship, went out and communicated with them, and they handed just a formal declaration of war signed by Primarch Magley Black Eyes.
Well, obviously, you should be talking to Roland. Don't you guys think so? Like, isn't that like the obvious thing to do? I mean, like, really, why have we not said this yet? Of course, you
I got
you need
stabbed.
to be.
That's not why.
Sorry.
That's not why you got stabbed. You did say it, but that's
That's not why you guys.
I said it. Period. I got stabbed. Period.
Two sentences, totally related to each other in no way.
Well, I'll say it again, and he can try to stab me if he wants. But also, what does the Kava have that Chalestra doesn't?
You're asking, I mean, any number of things: resources, values, space flight, the ability to leave the planet.
And all those things, and of course the celestial domain, and all of its guests, and all of the organizations in it that have a vested interest in the continued trading relationships with the Kva. And so, if you haven't done so already, I think you should be.
Excuse me. Are you suggesting that we reply to a formal declaration of war with an invitation to trade with people and give up whatever little advantage we may have in this situation?
Oh, no, the opposite. Should, make sure that the Empire, for one, knows that it's in their best interests to support you.
Yeah, and Ashoka sort of looks at you and is kind of reappraising. He's like, "Oh, interesting. Intriguing."
Okay, can we all just agree that we don't want war, right? Right? That's a yes, right? So do we have...
Well, sometimes war is the
No.
best thing.
No, war is never the best thing, sir. Okay? No, we're not even going to have that discussion today. Look, Nate, why don't you offer to pull out your other spies from Chalestra and then, call it good? Like a good faith effort, like a de-escalation process.
Now that's actually not a bad idea. And the Sublime the gardener, looks and says, "We could certainly say that we are doing something like that."
I like how this person thinks.
I mean, if they're good spies, just to playing devil's advocate, if they're good spies, they wouldn't know that they were there to begin with.
Yes, it's worth pointing out that he was not there as a spy, but rather an advocate and ally of the Primarch, supporting the Primarch's power at the Primarch's request. So in some ways, we could even blame this all on Chalestra.
How many spies do you have over there?
You think that I'm going to answer that to you? I won't even answer that to my most trusted advisors. Nuzha doesn't even know.
Well, you don't need to take out all of them. just like just say that you're going to start the process and take out some, like I said, like a good faith effort, and then tell them the truth. I mean, you say it doesn't support your cause, but it sounds like it kind of does. There was a rogue Kava agent, so you weren't telling him to do that, and then he was saved by a Kavanian. So I don't know. That feels like kind of a neutral playing field for the.
Exiled Kavanian, super different. Probably the farthest away from being a Kavanian you can be at this point.
Also, again, I will reiterate, he was acting upon our orders, although I did not know the methodology by which he would go about it.
Well, I mean, you can just apologize and start with that.
Well, let's see how that works with you. Your name is Nova. You
Yeah.
have a mother and a father, yes?
Yes.
If I ordered them killed and then apologized to you because I unintentionally also killed your sister, how would you feel about that?
I don't think we're talking about the same thing though, because you didn't order. Well, like in the other hypothetical, you didn't order them to kill this one random guy. It was someone misinterpreting.
I don't think you understand. It was not a misinterpretation. It was leeway, but it was absolutely the correct thing to do. If my agent were still alive, if my agent had succeeded in assassinating this stepwise lady, I would back him 100%. It was the correct play. And he failed, and sometimes people failed, but it was still the correct play. I will not apologize for doing what I think is best for our people and for our planet, especially in the wake of this covering being destroyed. I think centralizing power is not a bad idea. I don't think it has to be us in charge, but I think each and every nation cannot afford to be struggling in pathetic power struggles right now. That's why I backed Nuja.
Well, to be like frank, you don't need to actually say anything. So you don't need to be the one apologizing. I think Nuja can be. And if it sounds like it's not that big of a stretch to say that this person misinterpreted the instructions, and that would be a good way to start.
If I may, when did this happen?
And Nuja sort of looks, and Ashoka says, as best we can tell, there was a really long night, the night of the covering here as well as there. And some of the events are fallout from that night, and some of them are fallout from the next day. And
we could blame Arwa. We changed we turned our government on its head already. We could say that Arwa ordered that killing, and that we already dealt with it by exiling her.
Now that is an excellent plan. I can see that working.
For Arwa, though, why did she get exiled in the first place?
She had a vote of no confidence placed upon her, and then denied the results of our fair process election, claiming that having people of religious significance, gods weighing in, invalidated any results. She was seen as being, against Kavanian beliefs. She was a heretic, yes, heretical. She was exiled.
I elbowed Nova pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I sense motive.
But the correct name.
Insight.
Insight.
Yeah, please feel free. Nope, that one.
Nope. wasn't even insightful enough to figure out what Timothy wanted me to do. I think.
Mhm. I love it. What did you want? Just out of curiosity, Timothy, what did you want Nova to do?
I wanted to see if she was telling the truth.
Mm.
Because it doesn't seem to jive with what Arwa said to us last night.
Mm.
You know what? Hey, you know, what you're saying right now doesn't seem to jive with what Arwa told us last night.
You spoke with the exile?
She was in the process of leaving. It was on the way.
Well, considering her circumstances, don't you think that what she told you would have been to her benefit?
To what benefit, though?
She
She had
wished
no
you to
reason to
well.
lie. At that point. At that point, she had no motive. She was
I have
leaving.
no motive to lie here either.
Well, I mean, if she basically said that she was, you know, she was arguing against us because we're outsiders or what have you.
Mm.
It's not to say that she's wrong, but maybe she didn't want to tell that to our faces.
Yes, and it wasn't technically me that exiled her anyway. It was Numa, the religious leader that Arwa follows.
Oh yeah, no, I remember Numa.
All I'm saying is we have the capability. The Kva has the capability. I should stop saying we necessarily.
No, I honestly, and looks like not at you at all, but strongly at Ashoka. And Nuja says, "I appreciate when you use the word we. It reminds us that we are on the same side, and I hope that this place has been, at least to some degree, a satisfactory home for you."
It has been, and I think of it as such. That's why I'm using the word we when I'm not thinking about it, because I truly mean it.
Good, I'm glad.
But we have then laid out for us here a way to show that show our strength, and give us more control over situations like this that might happen in the future now that the covering is down. By saying that we have dealt with the problem, by exiling Arwa and reestablishing a strong government, less corrupt government, we can show the rest of the world that we are making steps to adapt to a new way of life, and also show members of the Kva in other countries that if they are going to do something like this, they should do so with your consent, if I may say so, Mr. Gardner.
Nuja pauses and thinks, and you see sort of the gears turning in her mind. I think that at this point, Thea, you instantly recognize that this is a conversation that's going on inside her mind between her and her brain shrimp. And she looks around and says, "Yes, I think that you speak well. I will speak with the Kari, and the council will make a decision. And but I will be advocating for emissaries to be sent both to the Grand Accord and to Chalestra, and overtures to be made to declare this unfortunate situation as what it is. I think that is a good plan."
Hey, Caliban, weren't you? You were kind of close with that Roland guy, right? I mean, you guys seemed like you were kind of always hanging out. Don't I bet he would listen to you. I bet he would. If,
You're right.
the Kava felt like they needed to have a somewhat less partial voice advocating for them. Just saying.
And the fact that I'm from Gilestra certainly helps in this regard.
So I don't know what that I don't know if that means, going back.
Could go back. I do have the capability of speaking with Roland from here also, and negotiating talks
Oh, really?
with them from here.
Interesting.
Good
to know.
But I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. Casher is there now, right?
He leaves today. If you'd
Okay,
like
well-
to join him, we can certainly put you on the airship with him. There was sort of he was supposed to leave a couple hours ago, but obviously, concerning the circumstances, he waited for their discussion and instruction.
Out of game, real quick. If
Yeah.
Caliban went with
Sure.
Casher, if
Yeah.
Caliban decided that was for sure the best course of action for him to achieve the goal he wants to achieve, would that mean rolling a new character with the group here?
Don't know. Depends on what the group wants to do. I don't think that
Okay.
there's one clear, easy decision to that. I feel like that's
Cool,
definitely a discussion to be had. I could easily see a new character here. I could see having the group be split for a while. I could actually see all of you going back easily. That doesn't seem like the worst thing in the world to go check in and see what's going on at sort of the other side of the world from here a little bit. You have all this information about the Kava, and like they know nothing, right? I mean, think about how they spoke to you guys about the Kava at the beginning when they were like, please give us any kernel of information. And now think about all the information that you have. Obviously, there is a part of this that is scary because the truth of the matter is that where the PCs are focusing their energy is the place where the PCs can affect the plot the most, right? They can affect the story the most. So anything that you're not focusing on is outside your control a little bit. And it's not like the Kava is a place that has been like super normal and peaceable and easygoing and everything is good and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I'm still out of game then. In that regard, Caliban sees all of that, but also sees that he just got stabbed by the general here, and sees that as a sign that his power and the what he wants here is not going to come easy anymore. So he would want to go back. He does not expect the party to go back with him at all.
Well, I feel like we should have a quick little discussion about the direction we want to head. I think there's a lot of different directions to head. And I could see any and or all of them happening at various stages or at various times. So how are people feeling?
I think that Nova would not feel good about Caliban going by himself.
Okay.
Maybe with Casher, but yeah.
That
But
doesn't count.
Celexa would have maybe some of her own reasons for wanting to go.
Mm-hmm.
I do think, though, that we should hold off on going for a couple more days and make sure that we know what the resolution is on, saying everything about brain shrimp.
I mean, I don't know if it seems like it's going to be hard to force that to happen if the party is not going to be around to hold up their part of like keeping an eye on things and protecting and guiding things into the right place.
Yeah, the other option that we always have that I always want to make sure is clear as an option is that you do have these lackeys, right?
Yeah.
Your assistants. And there's sort of like a halfway between your attention and you not being there at all, right? The idea is that they are characters, they have agency that are loyal to you right now, 100%. None of you have done anything to lose loyalty from your lackey. Is that true? Let me check. Uh, okay. I'm gonna say no. No one has done anything worth losing loyalty from their like. I have a -1 on Jackie's loyalty, but I don't remember where that came from. So I'm gonna move forward, and it's out of 100. So you're really fine there. But
Who's Jackie?
sorry, not Jackie. Joanna.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, not Jackie. I'm sorry, too many damn names. So that's sort of like a middle ground that's always worth remembering, right? If you have your lackeys do things, they are again less good than you, but it sort of counts as you guys being there at least a little bit in terms of attention and focus. They don't have the same clout that you have here, but I think that you guys have learned that just by being associated with you, right, they have some clout, right? To dive into the religious metaphor, if you guys are Jesus, then they are the apostles, right? So there's a little bit of like there's certainly respect there, and so they're not nearly as powerful as you guys, but that doesn't mean that like so if you wanted to all go back to the Grand Accord, to Terra Vest, the floating city, you absolutely could do that, and launch that sort of thing, and then leave your lackeys here to sort of ensure that that other side of things goes forward.
I don't think
but
I don't think we should leave right as that happens, though. That sounds pretty screwy as far as like protecting Nuja or whatever.
I mean, that maybe that could wait a week or two while we're gone.
Maybe.
Like it seems like right now, with this sudden infusion of chaos and uncertainty, might not be the best time for like an already scared populace to get a new infusion of that like fear and uncertainty. So we had our best intentions, and something happened to get in the way. That's the way Celexa would see it. Is that suddenly this is no longer the right thing to do to try and force this to happen this instant.
The other thing that I want to always make sure is clear and apparent is, of course, this is about your guys' characters, but it's also about your personal fun, right? We can justify any story thing that we want if it leads to fun. Like if you guys think that like the correct thing to do is to leave these basic problems behind and go fly to the stars and investigate the Empire, right? Then you should feel free. Like we can do that, and we can justify that in story too, right? We've built this world. It feels real, but like let's not forget that like the goal is fun. So
fuck this planet. Let's blow it up.
I mean, I've had worse things. I've had worse ideas happen, and it's been great sometimes and awful sometimes, Yeah.
I think
there's a hilarious comic book that I loved from a long time ago. I don't even remember what Marvel crossover crisis was going on, but some Marvel crossover crisis was going on in universe, and like all the people on the planet were like embroiled in this. And then one of the people from the stars like is like, "Hey, there's this intergalactic threat," and he comes back to the planet, and like all the characters in the thing are like, "Well, we can't help you. We've got real problems here." And he's like, "No, intergalactic threat, eating planets, destroying the universe." And they're all like, and Captain America's all like, "No, this matters here now." And the guy's like, "Fuck Captain America, fly up back to the stars." It's a very fun comic. Sorry, back in the day.
Point taken.
I think no matter what the party decides to do, Caliban's completed his mission. Which was to find out what's going on with these brain shrimp. That's why he was brought here, albeit at Nuja's behest. He helped her get elected. Whatever happens here now, doesn't actually care all that much about.
Despite the use of the word "we."
No, that was totally just him giving her bullshit. But
oh yeah, of course. Caliban's more self-interested.
Yeah, so if he leaves and the party stays, I would I would be happy to play someone else at least for a little while.
I think that postponing the brain shrimp announcement and going on a side adventure to Chalestra sounds fun to me.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds fun
Ju-
to me. Yeah.
To be fair, we'd be going. I mean, my impression is we'd be going initially, at least, to the Grand Accord, but
Almost
possibly-
certainly leading to Chalestra, yeah.
possibly also to Chalestra.
Yeah, I think that Winona, not Nova, Winona is correct when she assesses that we'll go to Terra Vest in the Grand Accord, and shortly after that, you'll be sent on a mission collectively as a group to Chalestra to do and accomplish something there. Probably a little bit more dungeon crawly too, just my own assessment. But
I love that idea. I think that sounds great.
so that works for people here. Timothy?
Yeah.
Slash
Here's a question
John?
for the general. If you were to stupidly get embroiled in combat, would you go out to meet their forces, or would you wait for them to come here and defend the Cabal?
A leading question.
I would do what I was commanded to do by Nuja, who is in charge of the Kari and the council. If the council voted against Nuja's choices, then I would be obligated to follow the council's wishes. And I have sort of limited leeway in terms of my political authority at this point. The only time that I'm allowed to do what I see fit is if, for some reason, the council has been destroyed or dissolved. And he looks at Nuja, and Nuja says, "No, I do not want to re-raise the shield. I feel like that was a symbol of our separation from the world, and a separation that I don't think is the right call. I think that we need to be an access within the world, not apart from it. So I won't re-raise the shield, but I also will not order troops past our borders. I will admit to you, Timothy, and I know that this is against your moral code, but I think it is to our benefit to have spies in the world still, so that we can keep abreast of everything that is going on. So the Gardener will continue their work. No, we will not. I will not, unless things dramatically change. I will not send troops past our borders.
Okay. Yeah, all right then. I'm fine. I'm fine with going with all of you. So I think that seems like a good use of time.
Kasher will go with you all to Terra Vest and figure out what to do from there. But please remember that our goals as a society are the peace of this region. We want what they want. And I personally believe that a peaceful world will be in a position to present strength to the worlds outside. You have learned a lot in your time here, and you should feel free to pass on. And she looks at Caliban. Anything and everything that you feel you need to pass on to whoever you think needs to be this to be passed on to.
Okay.
And along those lines, Nuja, I think we'll save our conversation until we return. Unless you think something else is better for.
No,
for you.
that seems like a great opportunity. I think we should hold off, considering the light of recent circumstances. But I am not postponing for anything less than literal war. I hope you realize.
Of course.
I hold to my agreements and my bargains.
So the question then is, do we go? Kasher is going today. Do we go with him, or do we wait?
I think that is best. I think the sooner we can get negotiations and hopefully peace underway, the better. Yeah, yes, Nova. You don't have to raise your hand. You can always speak.
Your chosen one.
Before we leave with Kosher, I think we do have a couple things we need to take care of at the Sky and the Mountain.
Oh yes, of course. Tonight, okay then. If that's all right, we can. Is that well? Okay. I'll let Kasher know. By the way, just so you're aware, the traitor. Well, sorry. The that word is thrown around too lightly. The man who worked for the Sublime Gardener, who attempted the assassination attempt and failed. He was a devout student of Kasher's partner, Abdul Kalmar. Abdul Kamar is a religious teacher. I think you met him. You had dinner with him early on. So just so you're aware, Kasher may be a little sensitive about that.
And he will be in the Chalestra still, presumably.
No, Abdul Kamar is here.
The
assassin.
The assassin is dead.
I see.
This story is so complicated; it almost deserves its own show. Maybe on Monday nights at 5:30. And I don't have all the details myself, but yes, the assassin is dead, killed by an exile who was his sister.
It was okay. I thought you were talking about the exile. It's the assassin.
Sorry, I apologize. The exile was not a student.
The exiled is still presumably in Chalestra, as far as you know.
As far as I know, she is, yes. Although we don't exactly have a way of keeping tabs on her for reasons that I can't get into right now.
Yeah, it's funny how that works when you exile somebody.
That feels like a snide remark, but I was not involved in the exile, so I take no offense.
So, yeah. Well, I guess we know what we're doing tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Winona?
It'll be fun.
Nice. Okay, so a couple of quick things before we call it an end. Obviously, we'll start with any errands next time that you guys want to run in the Kava before we leave. I'm going to skip our airship travel because nothing's going to happen on it, and we'll just go straight to the Grand Accord. So next time we'll start with any errands that you want to run if you think of anything that you want to do in the Kava before you leave, and various things. But before that, I want to end with a little conversation between Thea and her friend, her special friend.
Yeah.
I'll need food, of course, sustenance.
Of course.
And it crosses my mind that this might be a chance for some others from our pod to find their ways into more people.
Would you like access to my team?
No. I was thinking more people at the Grand Accord.
Of course. How can we transport you?
We'll need space in your suitcase.
There's plenty.
You'll have to sneak away from your team to get to the pod. I want to have a good meal, if that's all right. And then we can bring some of our friends along. Find new homes for them so that they too can see the sunset.
What kind of a meal?
Just take me home to the pod. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I'd be happy.
Thank you, friend. Okay. It's slightly early, but I think that's where we will call it for today. And next time we can do our errand runs in the Kava, and then jump to the Grand Accord, and then probably from there jump to some stuff in Chelsea. Just a guess. Don't know. All the good stuff. Okay, guys. Well, that was a lot. Cool. Evan.
I love a sudden change in direction.
Me too. Always. Super good. I built one of my campaigns around having sudden changes in direction all the time. And I'm really happy with how often it changes direction. It's just like they go somewhere and have a story in a certain direction for like a couple of sessions, and then like, oh, by the way, we're going to go over there and do a tower defense story now that we've done that politics story over there. And oh, now that we've done that, we're going to go do a dungeon crawl. Oh, and you know what would be really fun? Let's go to space now. So, you know, just all over the place.
I noticed that you keep pushing this whole space. I'm just making, kind of throwing it out there. You keep kind of taking us off in the space direction. I don't know. Just interesting.
It's
interesting observation.
It's an interesting observation. No, I mean it's absolutely not necessary, but I mean, to me, you guys destroyed the covering, and now space exploration is a possibility when it wasn't for anyone before you destroyed the covering. And like, I guess I'm an explorer at heart, and so I always enjoy that sort of thing. But there are many campaigns and many stories to be told. So that
thanks,
is all.
Timothy. Thanks a lot for that. Nice work with that, Timothy.
Yes. Sorry. Anything that throws chaos into the world is a good thing. For me, makes me happy. Excellent. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I'm glad that you watched too, but I was talking mostly about watching in this case. Really appreciate you coming and checking us out. We're having a good time with this, and I'm glad that you are too. So please, please tell your friends to come check us out. And we've got shows every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday, and all sorts of fun and good content on this channel. Also, I am guest running a game in the System Apocalypse world starting next Saturday. It's an Australian-based channel, so it's Sunday for them, but it's Saturday for us here in the US. And it should be a lot of fun. I have a 17-hour time difference in this game. It'll be fun. Yeah, that's going to be wow chaos, because if you've never seen an Apocalypse World game, it's one of the few games where you can sit in your character and drive it like a car that you have stolen off a cliff. And it is so much fun, and prepare for everything to devolve and go horribly for those poor people so freaking quickly. It's absolutely a really great system in many ways. Okay, so please come check that out, but also check out all our other content, and we'll see you here next week, as always. And please remember to take the time and energy that it takes to support people who are less well off than you. Anyone who is underprivileged in any capacity at any point, please find a way to help them if you can. Be that time, be that money, be that a friendly ear, be that accommodating for differences that they may need in care or treatment or just patience, whatever. Just find a way to help people who are doing less well off than you. With this group, I always like to particularly mention, find a way to help artists that are doing less well off than you, because this is a group full of artists, and well, guess what happens when you have public-facing art during a pandemic? It all gets canceled. And that means that all of these people's sources of income have dried up to a certain extent. So please do your best to take care of people who are doing less well off than you. And as always, I strongly recommend that you call your cat and feed your mom. Bye, everyone.